Hello, and welcome to my review of 40305, the LEGO brand store. Since this is the first review on my relaunched and rebranded channel, and since it is my first LEGO review that I am publishing, I thought it was appropriate if I take a look at an actual LEGO brand store set. It seemed kind of fitting. This is a set that I've had my eye on for a while. Bricksets.com claims that it was available on LEGO's web shop at some point. I've never seen it there. I've trolled that website for months and months and months and I've never seen it. Maybe it was there before I started buying LEGOs in July. Maybe they're insane and it was never there. Pardon the dog hair. But either way, I did not want to buy this on Bricklink or anything. I didn't care that much to deal with all that nonsense. So I'm very happy that they have this in stock at the LEGO store that I went to. I went to try to get some tiles for the roads that I have to build for my city. They did not have the tiles, but they did have this set in stock. So I'm pretty happy with it, generally speaking. I do have some complaints, but I'll get into those a little later. This is a modular building in the sense of the recent modular 3-in-1s, like the Sweet Surprises and the Skate House and the modular family villa, wherein that the structure is composed of rectangles that have a bunch of little modules that can pop out and obviously be swapped around as you wish. Like a standard Creator Expert modular, the roof does come off, giving you access, and the floors do separate. So what you basically are working with are these kind of framework rectangles that allow you to swap different sections in and out and rearrange things as you want. So that's a cool idea. It doesn't always work super well in practice from what I've seen and from what I own myself, but it's an idea that I like and I would like to see them expand upon. This set does have some issues in my opinion though, chiefly of which this is not a module. So you don't have any ability to really swap this wall around. These two front windows are fixtures based on how they're built. Everything else does swap around, but since you're not going to use this entryway up on a second floor side of the building kind of situation, that would be very odd. I mean, I guess you could make it into some kind of balcony or something, but that would still be kind of strange. The only things you really have the ability to swap around in any realistic way are these two windows and the pick a brick wall. So it's a cool idea, but there's not really all that much you can do with it in this context. If you have lots of other modular sets, like for instance if you have that little basketball hoop thing from the driveway on the modular family villa, you could throw that on the side of here. The colors might not always match up perfectly, but the idea is basically that you can take any number of these little modules from any different sets or combine them together or swap them around or exchange them from one set to the other, which is an idea I can get behind. I like the theory behind it. My major complaints, that aside with this set, are twofold. I will return it to its kind of default situation just to discuss this. First and foremost, I am not a huge fan of open-backed buildings. I usually prefer things to be enclosed, which is why I do still prefer the style that the Creator 3-in-1s were going with several years back, with the corner deli and the toy shop, grocer, and there's another one that I'm forgetting. Oh well, you guys know what I'm talking about, or you don't. I prefer it when they can kind of open up. The hinge plate sticking out makes it a little difficult to place things, but then again, these are also sticking out and there are windows on the side, so you're not going to be butting this right up against another building anyway unless you do some modification. So I would prefer a building with a back that opens up. I think that's nicer. I think it's easier to place into a city, but since this is LEGO, and the fun is all in customizing, it's not impossible to fix. It's not impossible to close these backs up or make some other modifications. And on that note, I'll actually remove the minifigs for a second so we can talk about some stuff. I've actually already made a slight modification. Got a couple more that I plan to make. I'm going to get this stuff out of the way just so we can look at the actual physical interior. I'll pop this off so we can get some more light in here. This window display right here that has the buildings, in the instructions it is actually one stud forward, and then it has these little 1x2 black studs with some things approximating cars on them. They're little roller skate pieces with some square 1x1s on them. I'm not a huge fan of these. I get what they're going for, but I don't particularly care for them. So I ended up just moving the little city building display thing forward so it's a little more prominent in the window. Another thing I'm not a super huge fan of is the way this truck is constructed. It's got the same situation going on, only it's roller skates with round studs, and then it's got the tiles and the plates and all that stuff on top of it. I believe, assuming that this works, I haven't actually tried it yet, I think this would look a lot better if it was just the, if it was just the skates directly on the tile itself. I feel like that is a more convincing truck than having the weird suspension thing going on. So, obviously you don't have to agree with me, but I think that looks better. So that's how I'm actually going to have this displayed in the window over here. Like so. This little thing over yonder, I believe this is supposed to represent a wooden duck, which is kind of one of the symbols of LEGO's earliest days. I believe the founder's name was Ole Kirk Christensen. I could be pronouncing that wrong, but I think that's correct. He, before getting into plastic bricks and buildable stuff, used to produce some simple wooden toys, and either the first or one of the first toys that was actually produced under the LEGO brand was a rolling wooden duck, and I believe that that's what this is supposed to be. I've seen others suggest that it does kind of resemble it-ish. I mean, it's probably about as close as you could get in LEGO form. I don't have a problem with that, but it does seem a little weird to me that when you look at it from the window, it just kind of looks like a block with a spigot on it. I get what they're going for when you look at it this way, because you can see the wheels. This is enough for me to kind of imagine the wheel duck thing going on, so this I'm just going to swap around, because once I'm in the building looking around at stuff, I already know what that's going to be. And this is kind of a permanent celebratory LEGO display, so it makes more sense to me that that would be in the window looking like its wheeled duck self. So that is how I have, personally, I believe, improved the window displays on the second floor, and also the window display on the first floor. I think all of those make it look better. A strange thing about the interior of this is that you have this bin with a shield. I'm guessing this is supposed to be one of those kind of role-play toys like they had for like the Ninjago movie, where you have the big foam swords and bow and arrows and stuff. So I'm guessing this is supposed to be maybe a Nexo Knights branded role-play toy for kids. So I get that. But then you have this other bin down on the bottom floor, and they don't give you anything to put in that. It just kind of sits there empty, which seems strange to me. They go through all of the trouble of making this little minifig station, and this I think is pretty awesome. This is very well conceived. I totally think that resembles an actual minifig creator area in the LEGO store. But this down here just being completely empty seems really strange to me. And I guess in theory you could take these little cars and put them in there or something, but they don't really sell pre-assembled stuff at the LEGO store, so it wouldn't really make much sense for them to be selling prefabricated, pre-built Lego cars. So I'm not entirely sure what this is for. I don't know why this is just completely empty. So that's a little odd. Cash register is pretty basic. It is just a 2x3 yellow brick with a computer printed tile on it. Nothing particularly stand out there. And that is pretty much all you're getting in the interior of this building. The minifigs that come with this set are just this older gentleman and this younger gentleman. I don't know if this is a father and son or two unrelated people, but neither of them appear to be LEGO store employees. It seems incredibly strange, and I say this, I'm never going to complain about minifigs. I like minifigs. I put them all over the place in my city doing weird stuff, so the more the merrier. But, with that said, it seems incredibly strange to me to produce a LEGO store set that is emulating a LEGO store and not actually include any LEGO store employees. It just seems a little strange. So the only thing that I can conclude here is that these guys are actually a secret criminal enterprise, and they are breaking in to rob the LEGO store while it's closed. So you heard it here first, folks. This set officially is LEGO endorsing criminality and theft. Shameful. Anyway, on my recent trip to the LEGO store, I did not even know this promotion was running, but I happened to be there at the time that they were doing this 100 store in North America promotion, and I got this little dude and a red brick with the 100 LEGO store text printed on gold, and you'll see that later. This guy is incredibly similar to the minifig that came in the VIP promotion from last year. I think the number was 40178, the exclusive VIP gift with purchase set. Very, very similar. Both black clothing, both the same exact hair. This one seems a little, like, slightly lighter in color, but it's probably just a variance in the... I don't even know. It's either a trick of the eyes or it's just a very slight variance. It's definitely not intended to be a different color. It's like a light reddish brown color. So, but this guy has the LEGO logo on the back. This guy has the 100 LEGO stores in North America thing on the back. Very, very, very similar, except their faces. And obviously the little name tag bits they have on their chest are slightly different. But this guy's face, his face print looks a little more standard to me. He looks a little bit more like he fits in with the LEGO aesthetic. This guy has like thicker eyebrows and a weird larger mouth, and I don't know why. I can't put my finger on it exactly, but it's kind of unsettling. It almost looks the way some of those weird knockoff, like, Zingbao Lego figure things look. It almost looks like a knockoff of itself, which is kind of strange. I don't know what exactly about it throws me off, but it kind of creeps me out a little bit. So I might eventually find some use for this face. I'm not going to throw it out, obviously, but my plan was essentially to use both of these guys in my LEGO store, but to make one of them a lady. Of course, it's not going to focus. So I have this female LEGO head and the hair that goes along with it in my... I made some minifigs when I went to the LEGO store, and this was one of them. So what my plan was to just take this new minifig, put his head into cold storage, and make this my female employee. However, I realized that her hair covers the exclusive gold printing on the back of it, so I'm not a big fan of that, actually. So what I'm ending up doing is actually breaking up the guy from that VIP promotion, moving him onto the 100 stores guy and making the VIP body my female worker. So I now have one guy and one girl Lego worker. Still can't see the Lego logo, but that's not as special. And I'm happy with that. So now I'll have these guys working here. She can be, you know, working behind the counter, beep boop booping on the computer or whatever. Apparently she doesn't fit like that. It's weird. Totally did that last night. Oh, it's her hair. Well, anyway, this kind of brings me to my next point. None of this stuff is going to stay this way. I like this set. I don't love this set as it is. I like the idea of it, and I think it can be improved upon. So I have that VIP set. I've actually already taken it apart with the intention of combining it into this set. And I have a couple different ideas that I'm toying with. I'm not sure which one I'm going to end up going with. My first idea is just to take the idea of these little modules and basically copy the design onto the back portions here, so I have room for 4 more of them. That will both let me close the back of the building up, but also give me some more swappable module options. I have the VIP set that I broke apart, and one of the coolest things in that set, as far as I'm concerned, are all of the little tiles that have some set pictures on them. And unlike some of the bricks in here that have kind of like Ninjago and Friends and Creator stickers on them, the set stickers in, or at least some of them, the set stickers in the VIP are actually modeled after real sets. They are basically made to resemble specific sets that have come out recently in certain themes. And then there's a 2x2 yellow one that actually is meant to resemble the Ghostbusters Firehouse headquarters in the square glass display cube that a lot of stores have. So it's actually kind of mimicking the set-in built structure that they have on display behind glass, which I think is really awesome. So one of the ideas I'm toying around with is basically making another module like this that has all of those tiles on it that can sit here or there or there or there somewhere. I like that idea. My only issue brings me to my next major complaint about this building, and it's a complaint about all buildings of this style, so it's not this specific set. There's no stairs. There's not even a ladder. This is one of those situations where they basically are assuming that your minifigs can teleport around to different levels, and they don't even try to pretend that there's any kind of access from one floor to the other. I don't know if they expect that we're going to imagine there's a whole other side of the building we just can't see here, and that's where the stairs are, so he's going doop 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 like this, or if they just don't think it's important. But it really does kind of bug me. I do want my buildings to not be realistic, because they are Legos, they're toys, they're not going to be realistic ever. But to a certain extent, I want them to be kind of functional. In a Toy Story sense of the universe, if these guys come alive while I'm upstairs sleeping, I don't want them to be stuck starving to death in this upstairs room here. I mean, I know that they're criminals and that they've broken into to ruin kids' dreams by stealing all the Legos, but they don't deserve to starve. So the other idea that I'm toying with I think that I end up liking a little bit more is combining these two like this and just having this be a square Lego store that is a single floor. And if I were to do this, obviously I would need to duplicate this roof or something similar to it and probably center this on them. But the other major change that I would obviously, well, not obviously, but that I would feel is obvious, I would end up removing these and creating that like that, which is actually convenient because it already has those two white 1x2s that I removed from the window display that had the cars on them. So it would be something along those lines. And then I would probably end up just replacing this whole module with the one that has the VIP set tiles on it. So Neither is a perfect situation. I do think that this is better because then it would actually give me the ability to build more square floors on top of this and either make more floors in the Lego store or make an apartment building or something. And because of the way that I would be changing this up, I could actually build the staircase to be part of this little module. So I could build it so it's got the tiles on the one side and actually has the staircase to the upper floors on the outside of the building the way some do, which would probably lead me to say it would be an apartment or a different kind of business, since you would have to access the second floor from the outside. That is what I am leaning towards. I do personally just think that that would make a nicer overall product. The only issue then is that this roof does not want to connect with the way that this door is made. So I would probably have to kind of reconfigure the design of this door module or reconfigure the design of this roof. It should be easy enough, I think. I haven't really tried yet, so maybe I'll run into some complications I'm not aware of. It should be easy enough, I think, to either just take all the details on this roof that I do really like. It's actually these 1x2 Technic bricks that they put the little pin in and have you cover them up with round tiles. And they have the little kind of make-believe 2x4 Lego brick on the roof, which I think is pretty cool. I don't think it would be super difficult to just take all of those details and maybe pop them up by a plate or two. And that should give me enough room to keep this door exactly as it is and also connect to there. I think that's about one plate that I need. It might be 2 plates, which honestly is not the end of the world. So depending on how I deal with that, there are any number of ways that I could redesign just the top portion of this just to leave a little more room. And I will certainly figure that out at some point while I am working on the modifications. But I think, generally speaking, that I do like the idea of turning this portion into a one floor more. And then the only real issue becomes how to integrate the other parts of the VIP set, because I do much prefer the pick-a-brick wall in the VIP set because it has the solid colored instead of transparent colored studs, and then it has a clear tile on top of them. So they look a little bit more like what they actually look like in the store. And then there's some other stuff like the dragon that's built into the wall, and the actual VIP card itself, and the register I think I'm probably going to just pop down right next to here because the computer is nice, but I wouldn't mind also having an actual till here. Because right now, I mean, they can check inventory and stock and stuff like that, but they have no way to really ring someone out or take their money unless they're doing it all digitally, which, as far as I'm aware, Lego money isn't digital. So, oh, there's also I don't think it's a 4, I think it's a 6 actually, a 1x6 brick that has the... Sorry, my camera just turned itself off. The VIP set has the 1x6, I believe it is, brick that has a sticker on it that says, I think it's pick and build, and I would like to somehow integrate that into there. So the only real conflict there is that the VIP set only has 3 rows of pick brick, this has 4, and I need to somehow figure out a way to get that brick up above there. None of that should be particularly difficult. Both sets were created with white brick, so it's not like it's going to stand out or anything. It should be a pretty simple matter of just swapping this brick for the other one. I might need to try to center it. I'm not really sure when I mock this if I'm going to keep the modules. I might actually just build all of this stuff into the structure itself and not have the whole swappable thing going on, because while I do like it, it's an interesting idea. Once I get everything set where it's going to be, I don't necessarily think I need to be swapping parts around. So that's another thing I'm not entirely decided on yet, but I will figure out. And the last real simple modification that I want to make is just tiling off the tops of these boxes so they're smooth. So that's not difficult. I'll just need some yellow, red, blue, and purple tiles, 1x2 tiles, and I'll pop those on there. Obviously, none of this is groundbreaking or game-changing modifications that I'm planning on making. I'm not making this into some massive 32x32 super mock or something like that. This is very much just trying to take a set that I like and just bring it over the edge, so it's not just nice, but it's something I really, really like how it is. This is about 90% there. I mean the stock, not this kind of mashup right here. The stock configuration of it is about 90% where I want it. I want to bring it that extra 10% and just have it be something I'm really happy to plop down into my city. So I don't think it's going to take a whole lot of work. I don't think it's going to be something that wows anybody. I don't know if you guys watch Small Brick City's channel. He's one of my favorites, hand down. He had a series of a couple different ever increasing mocks of various Lego stores combining and upgrading, and his is fantastic. If I don't have the parts or the sets or anything that I would need to do anything like that, but whatever I end up with is not going to be anywhere near as cool as his. It's probably also, like I said, going to go in a different direction where it's got some apartments or another business above it or something, so it's not going to end up being that awesome. His is really cool, but it is going to be something that I am a little bit happier to put in my city than the way it is sold and the way the instructions tell you to set it up. So I'm not thinking I'm going to be winning any awards with this, but I will do another video once I actually get those changes made and once I'm kind of satisfied with where it is, and probably just showing off where I plop this thing down into my city. I doubt I'm going to be really placing it until I get all my roads made, because I'm not sure exactly how my amusement park boardwalk pier area is going to end up looking or being, and having the actual 16 by 32 base plates that I need to lay out all of my roads in the boardwalk area is kind of what I need to do first. So it will probably be something along these lines though. But alright guys, thank you for watching my video. I will be back with I've got a couple sets in waiting. I have the Modular Family Villa, I have the Ninjago Resurrection Temple, I have the Friends Hot Chocolate, Hot Cocoa van food truck thing, and I also got my corner garage in the mail today. So I'm pretty excited to build all of those. I can't really decide which one I want to build or review next, so if you guys have any preferences for which of those you'd like to see next, feel free to let me know, help me decide, because I am terrible at deciding things. But either way, whether you suggest something or not, I will be back probably in a couple days with one of those things built. And I might even try a build video for one of them. I haven't decided on that. I kind of go back and forth with that, so let me know if you have a preference there as well. But thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a great night or day or whatever it is where you are, and I will see you next time.